I'm Generic Redstone Genius, and this is the two-way pilotable flying machine. If you remember my video on the TNT minecart nuclear missile, I made a design similar to this, another two-way flying machine. However, that design was very rushed, and it was made quickly just for the video. Now I put a little bit more thought into it to make it more compact and easier to pilot. Now let me show you how you can pilot it. So piloting it's a little bit more complicated if you do have extensions connected. So first, I'll just show you how you like the basic piloting works. So let's say we want to go to the left. You simply stand here. So the side you want to go. If you're facing away from it. Then you press the opposite note block, and as you can see, we're going in the direction we want. Then whenever you're where you need to go, you have to spam this block. So just like hold down on your right trigger, and you'll stop. It takes like a second sometimes. Then the other direction, you simply go here, press the trigger, and when you're ready to stop, you press this. The reason you don't go here is because sometimes you might fall through. It won't always happen, but sometimes it will, and it's just not as safe because you can fall through. Okay, now for piloting with extensions. So I'm just going to make two quick ones. These are nothing fancy. But let's say you want to go to our left, so the slime block side. You need to make sure there is a gap. If there isn't a gap, it won't be able to follow because of piston push limit reasons. So if we test it now, it works. Then when we stop it. You also need to make sure that there isn't a gap on the side you're not going, like the side you're going away from, because if there is a gap, you'll leave it behind like so. So you see it leaves it behind. That's why you need to make sure it's touching the sticky piston if you're going like away from it. So you need to make sure it's touching the sticky piston if you're going that way. The reason also you can't have it touching, this one touching, is because, like I said, piston push limit reasons. So all you need to remember is the way you want to go, the attachment isn't touching the sticky piston. The way you don't want to go, like the opposite way, it is touching. Another thing you can actually do is if let's say you have those cauldrons there, is you can kind of like maybe hop into here, get yourself situated, and like pilot it from there by pressing that. And then when you're ready to stop it, you might not want to try clicking it from here because it's a bit far. So you can just hop out and, like I said, you need to be careful. But yeah, you can just hop out and just walk over here. So make sure you don't jump, just walk. And then when you're ready to stop, you can do that. Or if you actually want, you can actually start it from here. So whenever you're ready, you can sprint and jump into there and then try and get into one of the cauldrons. It will be a little bit difficult and you make sure you don't fall off. But yeah, you can do that. Then when you're done, you hop back to here. And you do that. I'd recommend you start off in the cauldrons and then you press it and you hop back. Or if you have a honey block, like just like a simple honey block one, what you can do is, let's just make it a little bit bigger. What you can do is start it from here. So make sure everything's in the right orientation. Start it, then run over. So make sure you jump. I did not do that. My apologies, I keep messing up here. But yeah, so just make sure you jump, and you'll be on it, and you'll be safe. Then when you're ready to stop it, you can just run and jump to there, and then stop it. So it's really quite simple. Just make sure the orientation's right. And like I said, you can have multiple people on this. I'd recommend in most cases the pilot just stay in the like in the pilot seat, unless they're like actually using it for combat, then get into a safer location on it. But yeah, it's pretty simple to pilot it. You just need to take a few minutes to understand it. There's one last thing I want to address before I move on to the tutorial, and that is people might be wondering, why don't you just press this this note block to stop it? Well, if you do that, it'll kind of break. So let's just demonstrate. 1 second. So sometimes it will work, but other times it won't. Oops. So like I said, you can't, like now it's just not stopping, which can happen, but other times it will break like this. This is actually the first time that happened to me, where it's gone back and forth. But it can either go back and forth, which is not necessarily what you want, and other times it could break like so. So to fix that, it's a bit, it's quite simple actually. You just push it away, then you get another sticky piston and go like so. and then you press one side. So it's not the end of the world, but much more simple. Because like especially when you're flying and you're like pressing this and then like you don't know what's going on. It went the other way, but then you're still standing there and you might fall off like so. So just press those buttons. So without further ado, let's hop into the tutorial. So let's get into making the extensions. The first one is a simple one. It has to be made out of honey blocks. So you can do a 3x4. You can do a 3x4 like this, or a 3x4 like this. Or you can actually do like any shape you want, as long as it's only 12. I'm going to do a 3x4 though, since I think that's the best shape. And this is solely for transportation. It has to be out of honey blocks, and it's a good way so that you can stick to it, because if it was slime blocks, you wouldn't be able to stick to it, but honey you can. So just to test it, you hit that note block, and it works. If I just quickly replace this with slime, you will see that it won't work because you'll slide. So if you're kind of like on the edge, you'll just slide off. And if it's actually moving, you'll slide off. So that one has to be made of honey blocks. The next one has to be made of slime blocks. So you can make 6 blocks in whatever shape you want. I'm going to do a 3x2 and fill it with cauldrons. This is so that you can actually step into a cauldron and kind of be more protected, so you can't just get shot out of it. And then just test it like that. This next extension can be made with either or. I'm going to use slime blocks, but like I said, it can be either. So you go like so, a normal block, and then full slime blocks all around. You actually don't need one of the corners if you don't want it. It can be either like this or like this. Or like this. So as long as one of the corners you can like remove. And just test it, you go like that. And on this one, if you want, you can kind of put cover to move this in like this. So you're like more protected. If you're using it for combat, like maybe so that's like the limit. You can put 3 cover blocks as long as you don't have a corner. So that's good for protection. So maybe you can do something like this. So if you know you're kind of like safe from that side, you don't really have to bother. And you can kind of just go like this and be protected from that side. If you want a bigger one but with less protection, what you can do is put a normal block here. And then, sorry, a slime block there, a normal block there. A slime block and a slime block. So this works. I'm pretty sure you can't put a slime block there. Yeah, in the corner there can't be one or else it won't work. So you can do this as well. Now let's get over the rules for making your own extensions. So the only thing you have to make sure is that no sticky blocks touch these two. Or like anything like those two either, but I don't think that would happen. But just make sure no sticky blocks touch those two, so you can't put like honey like this or slime like this either. That would interfere. You also can't make sure that you also have to make sure that whatever you make this flying machine out of, which I'm pretty sure can be slime or honey, isn't touching this. So if you want, you can make honey touching this because it's made out of slime and it'll be fine. But if you make slime touching it, it won't work because it connects with it. So and you also can't have any regular blocks here either because it'll connect with it. Or actually you can, sorry. My bad. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So you should just make sure you have none of the same blocks touching this. Like, so no slime if it's made of slime, no honey if it's made of honey, and nothing sticky touching this part. Before we make the flying machine, let's look at the blocks we will need to make it. To start off, we'll need 10 slime blocks or honey blocks, so you can build the main flying machine out of either or. We'll need 4 sticky pistons, we'll need 4 observers, and 4 note blocks. Really quite simple, actually. We'll also need a stack or 2 of building blocks to pile up and to place stuff off of. And for the extensions, you might need some honey blocks, slime blocks, and if you choose the ones with the cauldrons and building blocks, you'll also need that. So just for the actual flying machine itself, instead of the extensions, you'll just need this stuff, plus the building blocks. I'm also going to do this tutorial in survival to demonstrate how you build in survival, because I feel like a lot of people will be building this one in survival over creative. So let's get right into the tutorial. So as you can see, I'm now in survival, and I have all the stuff necessary to build it. So we're going to start off by piling up. Keep in mind that this can't go over or around any obstacles that might be in its path. So if there's mountains or something else tall around, be sure to plan with that and build it out of the way of that. So after we've built up a little bit, let's make a little platform. I'm gonna make a 6 by 6, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So just build a little platform, and then fill it in. Then, oops. Then what we're gonna do is once we fill in this platform, is we're gonna find about the middle. So let's just do that here. So these 2 blocks, and we're going to place up 1, 2, 1, 2. Then we're going to place these sticky pistons like so. Make sure they're facing in opposite directions. And then place the slime blocks in. Place a slime block going out to the side of each, like so. So we have basically the sticky pistons going into the slime blocks with 2, like that. Then pile up and place note blocks and then observers facing away from them into the pistons. To click onto the note blocks, make sure you shift click. If you don't shift click, you'll just click the observer. So then what we can do is we can hop down here and we can break all this stuff away. And then it's just basically making a stopping mechanism. So what we have to do for that is place a note block right underneath that note block. The observer like so. You might have to jump and place it or just pile up a little bit. And then the piston facing this way. But the piston isn't connected, so what we need to do for that is place 1 slime block underneath this one, another one underneath the observer, and then another one underneath the slime block, the sticky piston. And then we have to do the same thing on the other side, which is just place the note block there, observer there, place the place the sticky piston there, oops, place a slime block there, there, and there. So that's pretty much it. Now we can board the thing. Actually, sorry, before you do that, you should make sure that nothing's touching it, because that could mess with the push limits a little bit. So nothing is touching it. It's not touching the ground like this or anything. If it is, just break it. And then we hop up, we board it, and now we can just go on our way. Oh, I accidentally did attach that, so that's what you want to make sure. 1 block is fine, but a few more would break it. So now let's stop it. And you break that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You now have a fully functional 2-way flying machine. Be careful, like I said, to make sure that nothing's touching it. I made that same mistake. But yeah, as long as nothing touches it. One thing's okay. If you accidentally use the one thing, just break it when you stop it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Now we have a fully functional 2-way flying machine. I built it in survival for you guys, so you can see that's actually not too difficult to make. So that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoy this. I hope you make it in your own world, so you can use it for maybe combat or transportation or something like that. And yeah, I've been the Generic Redstone Genius, and thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.